While Aegon the First Targaryen fought in the south, another king was marching from the far north. He ruled the largest kingdom in Westeros, a land of vast forests, frozen lakes, towering mountains, and ancient castles. This was the north, and its ruler was Torrhen Stark. The Starks had been kings in the north for thousands of years. They had survived invasions by the Andals, wars with wildlings, and countless struggles against rival houses. No foreign ruler had ever conquered them. When news of Aegon's victories arrived, Torrhen did not rush to surrender. Instead, he gathered his banners. Thousands of northern warriors marched south. They crossed rivers, forests, and open plains, determined to defend their ancient kingdom. Eventually, Torrhen's army reached the banks of the Trident. Across the river waited Aegon. The Targaryen king had fewer soldiers, but behind his lines stood something the North had never faced: 3 dragons. Although Meraxes had not yet been lost during this point in the conquest, the memory of Field of Fire was still fresh. Every lord in Westeros had heard how tens of thousands of soldiers had been shattered by dragonfire. Torrhen's scouts brought back grim reports. The dragons were larger than anyone had imagined. Balerion alone seemed capable of swallowing horses whole. His wings darkened the ground as he flew overhead. No shield wall could stop such a creature. No castle wall mattered if a dragon simply flew over it. That night, Torrhen met with his lords. Some demanded battle, others urged caution. His bastard brother, Brandon Snow, supposedly offered a desperate plan. He volunteered to sneak into Aegon's camp under cover of darkness and kill the dragons while they slept. Whether such a feat was even possible is doubtful. The dragons were heavily guarded, and no one truly knew if they ever slept deeply enough for such an attack. Torrhen listened, then he refused. He understood something many proud kings had failed to accept. A battle would not merely decide his own fate. It would decide the fate of the North itself. If he fought and lost, thousands of northern men would die. Ancient noble houses might vanish forever. The North could be left broken for generations. A king's first duty, he believed, was not to preserve his crown. It was to preserve his people. At dawn, Torrhen crossed the river. Not with an army ready for battle, but with his closest lords. He approached Aegon peacefully. Before the assembled armies, Torrhen Stark removed his crown. The bronze and iron crown worn by the kings of winter for thousands of years. He laid it at Aegon's feet. Then he knelt. In that moment, the kingdom of the North ceased to exist as an independent realm. Torrhen became Lord of Winterfell and Warden of the North, owing fealty to the Iron Throne. Many called him a coward. History gave him another name, the King Who Knelt. Yet countless Northerners lived because of that decision. Unlike Harren the Black or Mern Gardner, Torrhen sacrificed his crown instead of his people. It was a choice that would be debated for centuries. With the North peacefully submitted, nearly all of Westeros recognized Aegon's authority. Only Dorne remained outside his rule. The High Septon, spiritual leader of the Faith of the Seven, accepted Aegon as king. This was a crucial moment. Many Westerosi had viewed the Targaryens as foreign conquerors from distant Valyria. Receiving the blessing of the faith gave Aegon's rule a sense of legitimacy that military victories alone could not provide. Aegon wanted a throne unlike any other. He did not want one carved from marble or made of gold. Instead, he ordered the swords of his defeated enemies gathered, thousands of blades, broken spears, bent swords, rusting weapons taken from conquered kings and fallen warriors. Dragonfire from Balerion melted and twisted them together into a single monstrous seat. It became known as the Iron Throne. It was enormous, uneven, jagged, covered with sharp edges. Unlike comfortable thrones built for luxury, the Iron Throne constantly reminded its occupant that ruling should never be easy. Many kings were cut by its blades. Some believed the throne rejected rulers it considered unworthy. Whether that was superstition or coincidence, the throne became one of the most enduring symbols of the Targaryen dynasty. Aegon was crowned twice. His first coronation took place soon after the conquest began, on the banks of the Blackwater, before many kingdoms had submitted. Later, after securing the allegiance of nearly all Westeros, he was crowned again by the High Septon in a grand ceremony at Old Town. Before thousands of witnesses, Aegon accepted the blessings of the faith while wearing the ancient Valyrian steel crown of House Targaryen. The message was clear. He was no longer merely a conqueror. He was the first king of a united realm. The wooden fort where Aegon had first landed was no longer enough. The fishing villages around it began to grow rapidly. Merchants arrived, blacksmiths, builders, nobles seeking favor, soldiers looking for opportunity. The settlement expanded into a bustling city. It became King's Landing, the political heart of the Seven Kingdoms. Unlike ancient seats such as Winterfell or Casterly Rock, King's Landing had no long history. Its history began with Aegon's conquest. Everything about it reflected the birth of a new dynasty. After years of war, Aegon turned his attention from conquest to governance. Winning kingdoms had been difficult. Keeping them united would prove even harder. Ancient rivalries still simmered. Powerful lords tested the limits of royal authority. The wounds of conquest had not yet healed. Aegon would spend the rest of his reign trying to transform 7 proud kingdoms into one realm. It was a challenge no dragon could solve with fire alone.